You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
If you prefer real mornings, shouldn't you have a real breakfast? At McDonald's, we get real about breakfast. That's why you can have a savory sausage biscuit with delicious hash browns for only $1.50. It's time to wake up breakfast. Single item at regular price. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from all around the world, wherever you might be, from the high plains desert. I bid you hello. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not Art Bell. I am, however, Rick Robinson, and I'm one half of the crew for the Juxtaposition program. He's the other half, Mr. Ordnance J. Packer. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Thought you were going for it, man.
I almost did. I was like, you know what? I just can't do it.
Okay, we're doing it. Nice.
So how are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm good. We got some more pre-production work done for the show tonight. Got the freshmen together, and just said basically, don't be afraid. But I also checked their Skype settings and everything. So it was productive, and yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited for it. It's that time.
Dear freshmen, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, there's no paddling like in, there's no, yeah.
There's no paddling this time?
No. Oh, awkward. That's right. That was just a you thing.
I'm feeling like I was used and abused now. Say it.
You were. Also, chat looks great, Jeff. It really does. I mean, really bringing in the Christmas, tying it together. Big fan. He does such great work on the website and the chat page.
He really does.
Things.
I try not to compliment him too often, because then he just gets like this huge ego. But yeah, there are times it's deserved. No, I'm just playing.
Always tip the help. God damn. Sorry, I got this box of cookies. It's just caramels that are just fantastic from a Tweep. It's good stuff. Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Well, I just finished recording one of the end of the year segments for the Buffoon of the Year. It was me, Gene Baradelli, Brad Slager, and another friend of Gene's was hanging out, and it was only supposed to be like 30, 45 minutes. We wound up taping for almost 2 hours.
That's how that shit goes. That's what I like. You just start riffing, and it's natural, and yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. Gene likes to give me crap, but I figure what the hell. He's old. I'll let him have it. But yeah, so that, and then getting ready for Christmas at my dad's tomorrow, because me, my Christmas season always starts early. So we have Dad's house tomorrow, and then I have Aunt's house on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning here, and then I guess everybody else is getting together at my youngest son's around 2 on Christmas Day. So since it's neutral territory, I've promised I would actually come this year, even though I kind of really don't want to. I'm gonna see all you guys tomorrow. Why do I gotta come back out again? But anyway,
because it's the season.
They asked, so I guess I'm gonna. But yeah, anyway, so that's what's going on in my world. Getting ready for the whole Miracle on 34th Street thing. Trying to get the boss vibe down.
You mean you don't?
Oh,
Just use your voice when a show starts to go sideways.
Oh, I feel like I'm being called out here. No, just play.
Or as I used to call it when I was a restaurant manager, use your daddy voice.
I don't like to use my daddy voice anymore. I mean, I can.
Even the owners are like, "Oh shit, he's busting out the daddy voice. They fucked up now."
That's kind of funny though. Not gonna lie. Oh.
So, and sit there. And also, having my shifter drink afterwards at the bar. One of the servers would come up and ask me a question. Daddy drinks because you cry.
Oh.
Not having children of my own, I had them foisted upon me in many occupations.
It's usually how the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, the Earths, the flat and hollow variety.
Well, so before we get too far into the main two topics, there's one that I kind of want to bring up because I think we need to revisit this one next. I found a new theory of Atlantis.
Oh, really? Good. Yeah, we need to touch on that one again.
So yeah, we'll be probably coming back to that one probably after Christmas, because I don't think we're doing one next week because
No, we're not.
Yeah,
no.
I'm just gonna say, please tell me we're not gonna try to do that.
I mean, we can do the last one of the year before New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should be able to anyway. Let's see, because it's only the 16th now, so yeah, we can do one on the 30th without it being a big deal.
That would be 2 weeks from tonight, and then we'd have to get back on schedule. I'm not sure if we're on schedule or off schedule now.
We're off right now.
Oh, is it because without Jeff doing Asgard North, I'm lost.
Yeah, the only reason I know we're off schedule is because you always do juxtaposition on the weeks that you are not doing the culture shift. So
that's right. It's funny, you can remember that and I can't.
Well, it threw me off because Thursdays is now when I do America Off the Rails, and sometimes I do 60, sometimes I do 90, depending on who's on after me, and it wasn't on the calendar. So I was like, I guess I'm only doing 60 to be safe, because I don't know. Right. But yeah, so we're coming back around. We're talking Flat Earth, Hollow Earth again. For some reason, the whole Flat Earth thing has just blown up. Like, I heard somebody vouch for Flat Earth theory that I never thought in a million years I would hear vouch for Flat Earth theory, but he's also admitted that he's basically just a grifter at this point. None other than Tucker Carlson is now on board with the idea that the Earth might be flat.
Well, but you see, I think that's why it's kind of blown up a little bit, is that, because Tucker Carlson did say it, so it's kind of like, it's like back in 2016 when the rapper was kind of like just throwing shade at Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bob.
Yeah.
So that's when it blew up again. And Tucker's take on it is, I understand where he's coming from. I don't know if he's saying it because he's not saying he believes in Flat Earth. He's saying he understands how people can, because so many things that we know and so many truths that we hold dear have come out to be just absolute lies. It's easy to question your perceptions of reality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I misspoke. It's not really that he's not really saying that he's like 100% on board. He's just open to the idea because of how many different things have been proven wrong over the years, I guess would be a better way to put it.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of surprising, but not. You know, and of course, because it's Tucker Carlson, the media had to put the most negative spin possible on it, which again, you know, in the not so much Streisand effect, but you know, when the media tries to do something that the pushback, just the general, not even from the right or the left, right, just the general pushback against the media now forces people to make arguments they wouldn't necessarily make, and sometimes it expands their own horizons in doing it. It's like, okay, I don't believe in the flat Earth thing, but because the media is taking this take, fuck you for making me defend Tucker Carlson. Now I have to say these things, and wait a second, that's actually. I hadn't thought of it that way before, and all of a sudden your bounds of perception have expanded.
It's funny how that
which is kind of how we all got into conspiratainment.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, and so many government lies over and over through history. You understand why all of a sudden it's, how can you trust any institution?
No, I mean, I've been there for a long time. I mean, you know, when the truth started coming out about the CIA being involved in the whole cocaine trade and crack trade and everything else, and then you find out that the day that the media was going to break the story was the same day that Bill Clinton lobbed a bunch of cruise missiles into an aspirin factory, and what was page 1 above the fold became page 3A because that sucked up all the oxygen. And I didn't even know that until years later. I was watching a movie that was based on the material, and it actually says it at the end. This story was supposed to break on this date, and instead our government did this, and this was all we talked about for 2 weeks. And I'm like, holy crap. But yeah, so, I mean, I get why everybody's, especially now. But the thing about it is it's getting weird everywhere. Like, you're now hearing everybody talking about crisis actors and everything else with all the Israeli and the Hamas stuff. And I think at some point, some of this stuff is hopefully going to get to the point where it's jumped the shark and we stop paying it so much attention.
Well, on the other hand, it's either that do that or it's just got to break. It's got to come to the point where it just becomes so obvious now. I mean, because you used to be able. Okay, this is like Hamas is still doing their playbook from the Yasser Arafat days, where they could get away with that because you didn't have instant recall on the internet of where they've used that picture 17 different conflicts. You know, or so it's kind of like, yeah, you've done this one before. That's not today. That's from 2018. You know, that kind of thing. Or, oh, hey, look, that's obviously a doll, you know, where the picture was so grainy you couldn't tell that it was a doll. So a lot of the, you know, it's kind of like now, the immediate skepticism. I mean, don't even get me started on deepfakes, but the immediate skepticism, it's got to break at the point where they can't do it anymore. There's just got to be a point where they just can't anymore. And I'm not talking about the Palestinians. I'm talking about our own government. I'm talking about, you know, all governments and all media. They just can't get away with it. There has to be that point. There has to be.
Yeah, and I agree. So, I mean, I hope at some point we can start finally, you know, figuring out what is true and what is not anymore. But the weirdest thing about this whole the flat Earth resurgence, some of this has actually been fueled by documentaries from NASA that are getting excited because there's now technology to where for the first time in a long time we're going to be able to leave low Earth orbit and potentially go back out into the solar system again. But when you listen to NASA say the things about how they figured out how to do this, they make it sound like that they figured it out for the first time. So
they've never done this before.
Yeah,
never went to the moon.
So everybody's like, well, wait a minute. If you're just now figuring out how to make sure human beings can survive the radiation from the Van Allen belt, then how the hell do we go to the moon?
Right.
And somebody actually asked one of them that question during a documentary. He's like, oh, wait, I think you misunderstood me. What I'm saying is the ways that we did that before, all the technology that we used was destroyed. And so we've had to learn how to do it all over again. And I'm like, I don't care how thoroughly you destroy an idea. The general concept would still be there somewhere.
Sure. Well, I mean, sure. And yes, we have been trapped in low Earth orbit since July, or was it October of 71 was the last. Anyway, so yeah, yes, we have been trapped in low Earth orbit since then. But, I mean, I don't totally discount that because when we were talking on one of the space travel shows we did, we were talking about how, you know, the Saturn rockets, because that was so groundbreaking and so they were making modifications faster than they were editing the plans to the engines because they'd never built anything that big before. And this was all breaking ground. So it's like when they would re-engineer something, it didn't always make it into the plans. So they couldn't replicate it. So I get that on one level, but also, guys, it's just fucking Mylar that's protecting you. So it's not like you just rediscovered Mylar.
I mean, exactly. So, I mean, it's either what you're saying now, which makes zero sense based on what we're being told happened in history, is either inaccurate or something else we were told was inaccurate. And the weirdest thing that I came across, and this is one of the things that I was looking for, and I can't find it now. There's actually a bit where Buzz Aldrin is making fun of himself, and on tape says that he never went to the moon.
Mm.
And of course, they played it off as it was some sort of a skit or something. But of course, all the flat earthers, even one of the people that says he went there says he's never been there. Well, which one is it? Did he say he's gone there or he hasn't gone there? But
yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, I mean, honestly, this is something that it's really hard for me to get behind because there's just too much proof through shadowing and everything else that we live in a round environment.
Anybody who's shot any form of long distance, I mean, even Tucker said this too, that if you try to like reach out with a gun, rather than just short range, you have to account for the curvature of the Earth. You have to account for gravity drop. When you're getting several hundred yards out, the curvature of the Earth does come into play.
Well, the funny thing is, so you have the group that says that kind of stuff. Then you have the group that says the exact opposite, like the fact that a helicopter couldn't stay in a hovering position for 20, 30 minutes at a time and never have to shift for rotation. Then they have the group that talks about radar basically just going off in a straight line and still being able to find targets. And so it just depends on which side you're listening to. But
a lot of their big arguments too is, when you're flying in the airplane and you're flying an airplane, how come the horizon is never above eye level or below? It's always parallel with eye level. Well, that's what the horizon is by definition. That's yeah.
Well, the horizon itself is nothing more than an optical illusion to begin with.
Right.
So,
but
yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, some of these theories get weird. Like, I saw a clip where one guy was claiming that, we don't even though we can see them, especially because, Musk has launched like 1 million satellites at this point, and you can kind of see them just training across the night sky if you know where to look. There's flat earthers that insist that because NASA is the largest purchaser of helium, that our entire geosynchronous satellite thing is a myth and it's all balloons. That's how weird this theory gets.
Okay, here's the one. This is one of the newer ones too, or at least the newer ones in the whole flat Earth. And that is there are no longer forests on Earth, at least not as we know them. That and what we know of as mountains and hills are remnants of the real forests, the 40-mile high trees and. Yeah, I'm going to drop a picture in chat to kind of show what they mean and how they've all been cut down by giant machinery or have fallen down from age, and that's what we see as mountains, and rock outcroppings are the fossilized remains of the giant forest. And now they're just what we see now are just shrubbery and brush of the ancient forests. And what did I name that file? There we go. Okay. Dropping it in chat now. You see a destroyed stump and a mountain range, and they look quite similar optically. And Devil's Tower is another example of that. That is a petrified tree stump.
Those would be some awfully big trees.
That's the point. They were 40 miles high. And vast, huge forests.
Hey,
but,
Jeff,
okay, I gotta do some math really quick.
Jeff, nobody's supposed to know about that, so you just hush.
Yeah. The dead body in the Tesla. Yeah. No better way to hide a body. Send it into space.
Anyway, so you were doing math before I interrupted you.
Yeah, I just wanted to check something really quick because this might go against another flat Earth theory. The one thing about flat Earthers is a lot of them contradict themselves either. And the results are no. Okay, well, no. Okay, never mind. So I had to correct myself on that one because if the trees were 40 miles, I was under the impression that the flat Earth theory was that the sun and the moon were at 3,000 feet and the rest of the sky was at 3,100 feet. That was miles, not feet. That was my bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's miles. But
yeah, it was miles. So that's why I went to check something and then I had to correct my own miscalculation. But so anyway, again, flat Earth believes that the sun and the moon are at 3,000 feet or 3,000 miles away from the flat-ish disk, and the rest of the sky, the stars and everything, are at 3,100 miles. But when you ask them to, it's also they're they'll say how they contradict themselves, and there's actually two flat Earth societies. There's the Flat Earth International, and then there's the Flat Earth Society, and they don't even agree with each other. But when asked about gravity, some of them will say, well, there's no such thing as gravity. What that is that the Earth is rising. It is rocketing through space at 32 feet per second, which is the rate things fall at. So it's really the Earth is rising to grab the object, and nothing is actually falling, technically. And then others say the Earth isn't moving at all because the Earth is just the Earth and the universe is just a dome filament 3,100 miles above the flat surface. And what is below the Earth? Rock.
So two of the weirdest takes for this theory for me is one, that Earth is basically a fixed point. So everything else, everything moves around the Earth. So we're going back to pre-Galilean kind of stuff. But at the same time, that there are lands outside of the map that we don't know about anymore.
Which I find interesting because the Arctic is the center of the flat Earth, moving out from there, and the Antarctic is a 1,500-foot high ice wall surrounding the edge, and that's what keeps all the oceans in from falling over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so another one of the videos that I've seen, and this is from somebody that's like, I don't even remember where they said they were driving, but they were driving and there was nothing but water on the horizon, and basically they showed, how when things off in the distance, it kind of looks like there's maybe like this mist or something. That was them saying we're approaching the edge of the world because there's the wall.
The mist wall.
Okay.
Okay. But again, I mean, going along with it, I can definitely see how, even knowing as much of science as I do, I can still turn my brain into, okay, let's posit that that's real. What would that look like? And I can play through that whole, intellectual exercise. And it's fun. But I always wondered what always confused me, and you'll see this a lot on social media, is whenever anybody professes some sort of Christian religiosity, the anti-theists will immediately jump into the flat Earth thing too. And I thought that was just them kind of being just weird and, the same thing as believing in the Easter Bunny or whatever. But in researching this tonight, and by the way, guys, this was another hard topic to research because Hollywood has absolutely polluted both of these topics as well. But doing some of the research, I found out that early flat earthers were a form of, they had strong fundamental Christian beliefs, and their argument was there is nothing in the Bible that allows for anything that is a heliocentric solar system. Everything is Terra-centric, Earth-centric. So that is where that tie-in between Christianity and flat Earth, just because some early flat earthers made that argument, it is now forever tied to religiosity.
You gotta love religiosity.
Right. Religiosity and the fuzzy wuzzies.
Oh.
But, yeah, so, I mean, because that always confused me. I'm just like going, okay, so that's just generally being shitty. But then it comes out there is some historical basis for the tie-in of Christianity and flat Earth. Granted, every religion has its weirdos. So, there you go. If you're ever wondering.
Well, so the weirdest thing about, me deciding that, because I'd been seeing it pop up on my feed so much that we needed to talk about the whole flat Earth theory again, is how much the flat Earth and the hollow Earth theories are tied together. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it was actually, you're right, because when I was doing the research, I had multiple tabs open, and then I couldn't tell if I was reading an article about the flat Earth or the hollow Earth.
Because they all blend together.
In some cases, I'm just like, okay, now which topic am I on again right now? It's like I'd get up to go to the bathroom or whatever, and then sit back down, get another beer, sit back down, and then just start reading and be like, okay. Then I'd have to scroll back up to see which topic was I currently on the research, what I was dropping out. And yeah, there is a lot of tie-in. Not that they have the same proponents or the same people gravitate to both theories. It's that a lot of the reasons behind it and the need for when I get back right down to it, I think it has a lot to do with the fact of the need for exploration, because we have kind of put a foot on every bit of Terra now. We need more mysteries, and space isn't immediately accessible. It's not like the Manifest Destiny of the past, where you could just leave your shitty little village in Virginia and strike out west and just, die or don't, and then you might discover something and then become famous. There isn't so much of that anymore. The depths of the ocean, while fascinating to marine biologists, are kind of like, okay, they're not that pretty. They're gray and they're flat and they're just kind of, who wants to go there? And like I said, we've trod every square foot of the earth that we know of. So being the kind of race that we are, the species that we are, and we want to expand out, but we don't have the means to readily do it, so we let our mind do it. And it's like there has to be more.
Well, yeah, I think you're exactly right. But honestly, part of that is part of the reason that I started becoming involved in the whole conspiratainment idea anyway, because part of what's never made sense to me is if we really did manage to go back to we went to the moon all the way in the 60s. I mean, we're talking at this point, that was last century at this point, just to let that sink in. And we never really did anything else. There has to be a reason as to why, because we really are just, we were those type of people that would just strike out. And as soon as we figured out how to do anything, it was that or bust. I mean, look at what happened all over this country. Look at what happened for thousands of years before. I mean, even the people that we claim to be native to this continent that we live on were actually nomads that came from somewhere else because of a land bridge that existed thousands and thousands of years ago. We, as a species, have wanderlust to the nth degree. And honestly, I kind of think that may be part of what's going on everywhere with how weird everything's gotten, because we've gone everywhere, we've done everything, and now our imaginations that used to lead us outward have turned inward, and we're coming up with all the weird crap that we're seeing now.
Yeah, I like to joke that the American continent is so cool it was discovered thrice.
At
least that we know of.
Yeah.
4 times if you think the Chinese actually made it to California. If you think Marco Polo actually made it to California, then that's one we got to touch on too.
Well, it's actually 5 times if you count the times the Atlanteans were here, but we'll get we'll get to that later.
That's the next show. But no, I mean, you're right. The tie-in between the two, and we should probably go to commercial before we come back with the Hollow Earth. But the tie-in of the two, and like I was saying, I just think We need more. We need the exploration gene in our makeup is not being titillated.
Well, yeah, not only that, but like I said, I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing all the weird stuff you're seeing today, because our exploration gene is being titillated. It's just being turned in the wrong direction now.
Yeah, 6 if you count the Alpha Centaurians. Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Nobody counts them.
Well, we do, just, we count them on the census, but if they try to work, then that becomes, but.
All right. Well, we probably should take a break.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was looking for Art Bell bumpers and forgot what his main title theme was, and I pulled that up again. So I guess we'll go to break with it. All right, we'll be right back. Coming back with Hollow Earth on the other side of the break, so stay tuned.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
If you prefer real mornings, shouldn't you have a real breakfast? At McDonald's, we get real about breakfast. That's why you can have a savory sausage biscuit with delicious hash browns for only $1.50. It's time to wake up breakfast. Single item at regular price. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back into the program. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Rick Robinson. He's Ordnance J. Packard, Esquire, and you are listening to Juxtaposition live right here on KLRNradio.com. It's our twice-a-month foray into the weird, the unusual, the unexplainable. And, so we started the program talking about Flat Earth, kind of delving into the resurgence of that, which dovetails into another interesting theory that we've touched on before, but decided it was time to come back around to, the Hollow Earth theory. So, whenever you're ready, Mr. Packard.
Yeah, because if you're going to do one, you've got to do them both, right? I mean, it's just...
It's kind of like that whole mother-daughter tag team thing. It doesn't work well if you don't do both. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a different Circle K show. So, but the thing with, okay, the Hollow Earth, this one has been with us throughout humanity. You know, from, I mean, you go Hades to the Greeks, Duat to the Egyptians, Hell to the Christians, and so on. There's always been the underworld. And man has always delved in there, built catacombs and temples, and just we've always, and even, you know, when we were just coming out of the trees, we hid in the caves because we still were not the apex predator at the time. So we've always had our roots in the earth, not just on the earth, not just part of the earth, but in it. And granted, you get through science and geology starts to say, you know what, there is no big cavernous other world underneath ours. It's just rock and magma and water and rock. And then you get the types of Edmund Halley. Yes, that Edmund Halley, the discoverer of Halley's Comet, who he was pretty much the first one to really put a scientific spin on it. And this was in 1686 when he was trying to explain the shifts in the planet's magnetic field over time. And what he suggested was that beneath the surface lie three concentric shells, each with poles that rotated independently and interfere with the above-ground compass readings. And it was these nested layers that, you know, these Chinese nested or Russian nested dolls theory that it was kind of like, you know, it was kind of like, you know, hey, I got to make my math work kind of thing. But still, it was a theory that was put forward. And you think, well, that sounds crazy now. You got to realize that plate tectonics wasn't really known until the 60s. I mean, it was fringe science. It wasn't accepted science until, I mean, you think about that, a kid in the 50s would go like, you know, wow, Mom, it really looks like Africa fit in the Caribbean. And the mom would say, that's great, honey, finish your cigarette. And I can see where you would come up with that theory.
I love that. That's great, honey. Finish your cigarette.
Right. Well, in the 50s, everybody smoked.
Well, I mean, honestly, in the 60s and 70s, pretty much everybody smoked. Because if you weren't smoking real cigarettes, you were smoking candy cigarettes to look like your parents.
With the gum, yeah. The gum with the confectioner's sugar between the wrapper and the gum to make the smoke effect. But, I mean, it's still... I mean, Hollow Earth has followed... It's one of those that has just followed through time. That there's always been a group of believers who just, you know, our model of geology doesn't work. It does, but even then, it's like comprehending infinity. That when you're trying to comprehend the rock, followed by the mantle and the layers upon layers of magma and molten rock and solid rock, and then you get to the middle of this iron crystal, and your mind can't comprehend an iron crystal because we have glass in our head as crystal, not understanding what the real meaning of the word crystal is. And so it's kind of like, okay, so, and then this iron crystal is spinning around and then occasionally just kind of fucking changes direction, and the whole magnetic field of the earth switches and everything chaos. And this happens, but it doesn't make sense that it happens because we just can't conceive of that. You know, it's like, I mean, if you want to know how mind-boggling it is, think of where all the water from Lake Lahontan went. It's under your feet. It's under Oklahoma. It's under California. It's a giant underwater aquifer. To think that you are standing on basically a crust that could break at any time is scary as fuck. So your mind rebels against it. But on the other hand, you have to explain these other things that happen in science, and that's where the Hollow Earth just keeps coming up.
Well, I mean, so back to one of your points. There are, or there is, depending on how you want to say it, historical data that the poles have shifted multiple times. I mean,
right.
You know, there was a deep core drilling in Antarctica recently that like revealed plant life from like thousands of years ago, and everyone was like, "Well, if it's been frozen the whole time, how is that even possible?" And that's because our poles do shift. I was reading an article the other day. I guess this supposedly happens somewhere between like every 3,500 to 4,000 years, and apparently we're getting close to that time again. Maybe.
It's funny how we're always closest to the doomsday events of the, like Yellowstone blowing. We're pretty close. I mean, we're closer to it now than, we were, but yeah, no, yeah, and exactly the poles switching again, and
well, I mean, and then look at what's going on in Iceland right now. I think it was Iceland. Well, that Iceland had like 1 million earthquakes in like a week.
Yeah, that was scary for that, and they always have their active volcanoes too.
Yeah, I mean, so the idea, because that's there's always been this thought that even after we figured out the world was round, that it's basically just this big ball of nothing except for what's on the outside of it, and that's the human mind's way of reconciling where we are and not wanting to face the fact that a sinkhole can open up pretty much anytime, anywhere, and swallow us. And if you don't believe me, just look at all the time it has happened.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. There obviously is more under the surface than anybody wants to admit if there's a giant aquifer stretching from Oklahoma to California. I'm just saying.
So, talking about giant sinkholes and then taking it to the next level, expanding on Haley's beliefs, you had granted, many other people kept it going for several hundred years, and then in 1818, you have a gentleman named John Cleves Simes, Jr. The reason why you have to specify Jr. is because his dad, or his uncle, was a very famous pioneer and military man for the U.S. So John Cleves Simes Jr. he did serve in the War of 1812, and he got a little bit of fame there. He, in his publication Circular Number 1, he's the one who came up with the giant holes that lead to the bowels of the Earth at the polar regions, the North and South Pole. And he was very evangelical about it. Even so far as to, and he kept trying to push a expedition to the North Pole. He almost got funding from President John Quincy Adams. The thing he really wanted, and it was really close. Adams thought he could get it pulled off if he could get Simes to quit talking about Hollow Earth. He said, I can get this expedition funded, and it would be, it was also part of the, hey, we got to find the Northwest Passage thing, we got to do all this other exploration in the North Pole, and, okay, I can get Congress to do it if he just shuts up about the Hollow Earth. And it almost got funded, and then as the administration changed, the funding dried up. So while he mostly met ridicule, still he almost had government backing for his expedition. And his thoughts and ideas actually blossomed to the point that his theories were the basis of Jules Verne and Edgar Allan Poe's novelizations and ideas about a hollow Earth.
Yeah, I still think it's funny that they built a monument to the dude.
Well, I mean, he's a Cincinnati son. Once again, this was Ohio's first attempt to take over the world. There would be many more later.
So yeah, if you're ever in Ohio, make sure you check out the Hollow Earth Monument located in Hamilton, Ohio.
Well, I mean, why not, right? I mean, he was, for all intents and purposes, he was going to be one of the first explorers. So to do something many had tried, but it wasn't until Admiral Byrd was ultimately very successful.
And it all started because of satellite footage from forever ago that showed a bunch of holes where there shouldn't have been holes.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Well, that was also in many early maps. They show that too. Is off the edge of the map. There be monsters here, and the megafauna of Hollow Earth. But the Admiral Byrd was a segue into the next person who took up the mantle, and that was in 1921. Admiral Byrd, famous explorer, famous American explorer, North Pole and South Pole. We've covered him on several episodes of Juxtaposition, mostly with his Antarctic antics. But initially, he said that when he flew over the great unknown of the North Arctic, that he flew several hundred miles across, which you can't do that past the North Pole because then you're back over ocean. And so that is when he dipped through the curvature of the hole and into the Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
And then the whole the Antarctic expedition we touched on with Operation Paperclip and Operation High Jump, where he took a whole fleet down there and encountered not just Nazis but aliens.
Aliens, and mapped out over 1,390,000 square kilometers of Antarctic territory.
Yes,
that's a lot of mapping.
That is, yes, especially for as little as he was down there.
Oh.
So what is in the Hollow Earth?
Well,
it depends on
who you listen. It depends on who you listen to. There's everything from advanced alien civilizations down there to Nazis hiding to the prehistoric is down there.
Yes,
so
and getting back to Byrd too, he did say when he crossed over the North Pole that he saw the megafauna that everybody talks about, woolly mammoths, in a lush, verdant, green, prehistoric land. But
so was this after he flew down, or is he saying that he saw this?
This is when he flew in to the. And the thing is that the North Pole has always been in all of the photos, and this kind of goes with the flat Earth thing too. In all of the photos of the North Pole, it's always covered in clouds. And there was a report of one satellite photo from the ESA that didn't have clouds once, and you could see, like as you were talking about, the giant hole.
Yeah. So the weirdest thing for me about the giant holes, right? Let's just assume because according to folks now, there is apparently a giant hole in the north and a giant hole in the south. So assuming that is correct, let's assume for the sake of argument that there are, there's giant holes where the poles are supposed to be. What stops the what happens to the water?
But that's the thing is that that doesn't really work in the Arctic, but in the Antarctic, yes, I can see that. I mean, that's where the Stargate bases drink, and but yeah, in the north you've got the Arctic Ocean. You got a whole bunch of islands up there, but there is no actual land. And there's one of the things when we touch on Antarctica again, we've got to do this part of the Hollow Earth too, where a missing German submarine, and this one is documented as missing. It wasn't KIA, it wasn't destroyed. It is actually missing. Its last report was it gave a very detailed directions on how to get to the Hollow Earth and sent back a message saying we will not be returning.
So in other words, we found our way. We found our way down here.
We ain't coming back.
Yeah, we found our way down here. You're welcome to come down here with us. It's so cool. We're not coming back.
Right. So that was the basic gist of it, and that was in. I was like, okay, so we don't have enough time to touch on this, and this is fantastic. But yeah, this is one I want to follow up on.
Oh, we can definitely do it.
Yeah. So that is the Hollow Earth. That's the new on the Hollow Earth.
Yeah,
well, not new, but yeah.
Yeah, basically just a just a reminder, because the craziness is being ramped up. I mean, hell, now the government's telling us that UFOs are real.
Right. God, that's what started this whole show. It's funny we talk about Tucker tonight, but still, it was Tucker talking about UFOs when he was still on Fox that led you to the first show of Juxtaposition. When did UFOs become mainstream, and why didn't you get the message?
Well, I mean, but that's a valid question, though. Because it wasn't just him. Like, he was the first one I heard talking about it, and then all of a sudden it was CNN, MSNBC. Everybody's talking about how the Navy's the Navy's rebranded their UFO terminology, and now they're making it easier for pilots to report things. When before, if you said, "Hey, I think I saw a little green man," it was hee ho ho, try on this white coat. I feel like they're trying to get us ready for something. I really do.
And that's one of the things we've talked about with MK Ultra is that one of the things that they were going to do was to start a new religion. Yeah, and that's when you see these cults pop up all over the place. But they're going to make some new religion type, cult following. And then they were going to simulate an alien invasion. And only the adherents of this religion would know the way to defeat these aliens. And that was how they were going to have complicit blind trust in the government from that point forward. Can you imagine trying to do an alien invasion with all smoke and mirrors? I mean, I'm sure if they had the technology at the time, and now they could totally do it with deep fakes and absolutely get. I mean, they could 100% Grover's Mill this shit together.
Dude, like I've seen videos of Elon Musk supposedly saying shit that Elon Musk has never said. So with AI and everything that they figured out, we could be in all kinds of trouble. So this is coming back around again, so we may need to touch on this again in another episode. Apparently, there's now a story that was just put out just about 2 weeks ago that the moon is an artificial alien base.
Doing that one again.
It's like,
until we go back to the moon, and again, it's like we've talked about in the past. It's not that we didn't go to the moon; it's that we were told not to come back.
Yeah. No, that I firmly do believe.
So, yeah, we got. We've done the show long enough that it's about time that we start to revisit some of the, the primers that we did that we never revisited because there's just been so much to do. It's not that we've run out of things to do. It's just that it's been so long that new stuff is coming out on it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that and Mandela Effect usually takes up a lot of our bandwidth because it's still freaking everybody out now.
And we haven't done a Mandela Effect this year. I don't think we did one in 2023.
I thought we did, but we might not have.
No, but even then, I think the anniversary for it is like February, so we'll look into that. But yeah, we're due for another Mandela Effect. Absolutely due for another Antarctica.
Oh, and apparently they've now found proof of what they believe is a base on Mars too.
Damn it, Jeff! You said we were the only ones.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Ancient city ruins discovered on the surface of Mars. Of course, it has a question mark. So who knows?
Is it Hoagland again?
I don't know. This one's all the way back from like 2022.
Okay.
Doesn't say who wrote it though.
No, but are they? Who's positing the theory?
I think it might actually be Hoagland again.
But still, I mean, God damn, love him or hate him, Richard C. Hoagland absolutely changed the face of science fiction with that. With the Monuments of Mars and everything else, I mean, 2 movies coming out, huge budget sci-fi movies coming out about that very topic within a couple of years of each other during the whole peak of all of it. And, Art Bell right in the middle of it, Hoagland in the middle of it, Norrie in the middle of it. And it was just in our collective consciousness. And it was also when that meteor hit, they found the meteor in Antarctica that possibly had alien microbes on it that came from Mars. So that whole thing was we were just so gung-ho for Mars. And now the fact that Elon Musk can actually get us there, we have no interest in it. Well, society has no interest in it.
I was going to say, a lot of people still have interest in it, just society doesn't seem to.
Yeah. Right. If anybody could turn the left off of going to Mars, it was Elon Musk. Once he bought Twitter.
Dude, they fucking hate him now.
They hate him so much. They hate him so many. And the thing is, he hasn't changed one bit.
No, he really hadn't.
He still holds most of his center-left ideology. It's not like he just came... Not like he fucking got red... Well, he has gotten red-pilled a little bit. He's more black-pilled than anything else. But, and a lot of that had to do with the left attacking him for doing what he's always done.
You know how I knew exactly how much the left hated him now?
What's that?
When the Obamas made the Teslas the villain of their new movie.
Of course they did.
So they put out a movie a couple weeks ago called Leaving the World Behind. And
they would.
Not only was it complete racist diatribic crap from both sides, on one of the scenes when they're trying to leave after it's apparent that something weird has happened, they're just they come up into this traffic jam of cars, and it's just a bunch of cars that have rear-ended each other, and they all look the same. So they're white, and you can tell from the shape that they're supposed to be Teslas. Then all of a sudden, it kind of shows in the rearview mirror another car coming towards them, and it's the same exact car. And the husband's like, wait, maybe we should talk, maybe we should see if they know anything, and this, that, and the other. And she just keeps watching the car barrel closer and closer to them. And she's like, I don't think anybody's in that car. So they hurry up and get out of the way. And then that car slams into one, and then like 5 or 6 more just comes slamming in. And they're fucking Teslas. And the auto drive feature's gone nuts.
I mean, you know what? That would actually be a cool if they were to redo Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, do it with self-driving cars.
At least it would make more sense then as to why they went nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of robots going nuts, where did that one go? I can't find it now. I clicked on a new one because it kind of intrigued me, but hang on, let me hit the back button. It's probably going to be there, maybe. Where did it go? Anyway, no, it's not there. Anyway, so apparently there's the first female robot has now voiced the fact that she wants to have a family. There's so many things that, I mean, we literally have more.
I mean, I don't want to get tied down, but I'll take one for the team.
We have more content now than we have months for 2024. Just because it just keeps coming.
Okay. Good times. So, where can we find you this week?
This week, let's see. Not doing anything tomorrow. Not doing much on Monday, except for trying to get back on the riding wagon because I've kind of fallen off. And then Tuesday, producing for the Cocktail Lounge, and then Wednesday, Full Boat, doing whatever, and then Conservative Curmudgeon, Ladies of the Red Wine, and then closing out the night with you. Then back around doing America Off the Rails on Thursday at different and taking a break while somebody else has a turn, and then Jen and Rick, and then we'll be finishing off, well, actually, I guess we're not doing He Said, She Said next week, because we are doing Miracle on 34th Street at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, I'll be doing that, and then you can find me on social media at RowdyRick73. You can find me as the executive producer for the Loftus Party podcast, and a contributor to both LoftusParty.com and Twitchy.com. What about you? Where can folks find you this week?
Let's see. We've got Tuesday, I may be on Manorama with Rancor Steve. Wednesday on Rick and Morty with you. I'm off this Thursday. Friday, Miracle on 34th Street, the most important radio show you will listen to all year. And then...
It might just save your life.
What's that?
I said it might just save your life.
It might just save your life. And then, we're not doing Jux next week, and then back around the horn. You can also find me as Ordnance Packard on Twitter. And programming note from the chat, Jeff is going to be doing ITC tomorrow as well. Love this show. So, which was this one, Jeff? I know you gave me the breakdown of your shows you're going to do, but I don't have Discord open at the moment. Waiting for the chat. Time delay is annoying. See Event Horizon, the Black Hole. Can't be helped.
Speaking of Jeopardy, I'm kind of pissed off that they're letting Maya be all. I much preferred her to Jennings. Just saying.
Well, Jennings is a fucking twat. He wrote. I mean, yeah, he's dialed his twatness back about 90%, but he's still not. Mongolian invasion of Japan and Oriental Christmas. Nice. You know what? A lot of people don't remember the Mongols invaded Japan, too. It's all about China. China, China, China!
Okay, Jan.
So, anyway. Excellent. Looking forward to it. And then you also have Sunday Nights with Alan Ray tomorrow night, too. For those of you who aren't listening live and aren't in the chat and can see the schedule.
But why aren't they listening live, and why can't they see the schedule?
Yeah, damn it.
All right, we should probably get out of here. I have presents to wrap, which means I can't go to bed yet. And I'm tired.
I've got a commercial to write. I got one down, the other one. I think I'm going to let AI write the second one and see how it does.
You're gonna let.
I know I talked about that.
You're gonna wait. You, Mr. Anti-AI, are gonna let AI write your second.
No, I'm not against AI. I'm just against certain types of AI. But yeah, no, I just want to see if I have mine that I think is good. I want to see if it can come close, and I'll be totally impartial.
You know, this is how we get Skynet, right?
Yeah, I know.
When smart people like you start working with AI, we're toast.
Well, I mean, I still keep a gun next to my printer in case it makes a sound I don't like.
I do the same thing with my toaster. Oh, wait. Anyway. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are having a great holiday season so far. We'll be back with you in our respective time slots as soon as possible. And hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody.
No Hydra.
No hailing of Hydras.
The heart switched the pace. Look for what's